What's crack-a-lacking, guys and girls? Hopefully everyone's doing alright. I know I am. First of all, I will apologise for the delay in making a video. Believe me, between work and other bits and pieces, I've just had my hands full. I do apologise, I am so sorry. I will do my utmost to try not to make it a habit in the future. But I've kept you guys in suspense long enough, so obviously it's time for us to talk about this bike, the Tsunami. Now, the Tsunami, at the point of me making this video, or time as I should say, is the most powerfulest M620 emtb I actually own. Now, there will be more which I'll be building which will technically surpass this, but I've got to say, in terms of how I've built this bike up, both mechanically, electrically, in terms of programming and so on and so forth, this rig is honestly pretty impressive. Now, obviously I'll go through the spec list on the bike because the bike has changed since the last time you've seen it regarding the sneak peek video, but at the very least it has given me opportunities in order for me to fine-tune some bits and pieces which I've come to become more accustomed to regarding emtb. So you'll see it all, and stick around, and hopefully this will give you some pointers if you guys are thinking about doing the same thing. Okay, so going back to what I was saying before, the bike has been revised since the sneak peek video, and I will leave at the side of the screen right now the geometry as to what the bike was before, and I'll leave somewhere up here what the geometry is of the bike now. Now, near enough, the reach, the head tube angle, seat tube angle, and so on and so forth is the same. The only two differences is going to be the overall wheelbase and the BB height, and the reason for that is because this bike is no longer running on 27.5 inch wheels. This is now a full 29er. In reference, there's a 29 by 2.4 Maxxis Minion DHR2 on the back. Up front, though this will be revised, is a Magic Mary in a 2.4 up front. I will be going to a 2.6, but unfortunately, like the tyre in which, well, actually no, I technically do have the tyre, but it's just on another bike. I just couldn't be bothered to take it off and put it on this bike and so on and so forth. But the point being is, this bike will be getting a 2.6 tyre up front. Don't ask me what that tyre is going to be. It could be the Assegai. I could go with the Magic Mary, I don't know, but I'll obviously put 2.6 up front. Obviously, emphasising that, it is rolling on 29 inch wheels, so of course the speed in which this bike can obviously generate is pretty impressive. This isn't the first M620 29er bike I've obviously built up. Obviously that luxury and courtesy goes towards the Freedom. The Freedom has been revised as well, and that is one of the reasons why I've decided to go with a 29er setup for this one. The Saviour, the blue bike, the first bike you've seen, that still remains at 27.5, and I won't lie to you, I was tinkering around with this bike as a mullet setup. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the term mullet, it denotes a bigger wheel up front, smaller wheel out back, which is effectively nowadays 29 up front and 27.5 out back. Story of my life, both my phone and my Canon IR camcorder have decided to die on me, so in which case I'm going to have to be using the GoPro in order to shoot the next part of this footage. So I do apologise if the view looks a bit different, but anyway, let's keep on going, shall we? Alright, so going back to what I was saying before anyway, so tried it as a mullet setup, but obviously I'm favouring the 29er look. So essentially, the front fork obviously needs to be swapped out, so it's no longer running the Fox 36. Instead, it is running the Mazzocchi Z1 Bombers. Now, this is the air variant, and this fork, set up at 170 millimeters of travel, has a 51mm offset, and obviously can take a 29 inch wheel. Gotta be honest, there is hardly any difference between this and the Fox 36, which is beautiful because that's what I was gunning for. Now, essentially, the bike still retains, as I said, near enough the exact same geometry. The only all difference is the wheelbase and the BB height. The BB height doesn't really bother me. It feels pretty decent anyway. Again, the motor's not in a vulnerable spot anyway for it to collide with anything. And with the overall wheelbase, kind of adds to the stability, especially when you're pushing the higher speeds. In addition, you'll note that I am no longer running the stock Bafang DCP display, or DCP 18 I think you call it. Instead, I am gone with the 500C display. Now, for those of you who haven't checked out the initial thoughts and opinions regarding the 500C display, which I'll leave a card somewhere up here for you to go check out, also up here, sorry, I do like this display. Obviously, I know a lot of people have reached out to me and said, have I tried the Egg Rider? Have I tried other Bafang displays? I have tried them. I'll be honest with you, I am notorious for breaking Bafang displays, so I don't really want to start forking out for like a new display which is costing me like £100, £120 and so on and so forth. On a good day, you can pick one of these displays up for about 45 quid. So bad for bad, if I break it, if I destroy it, if I crack it, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to be crying spilt milk over it. it's obviously going to do as I want it for. But at the same time, it's actually done pretty well actually. Really done well actually. And as you can see, I'm obviously able to get a nice clean cockpit. In addition, it is also worth mentioning that one of the things in which I am slowly doing is transitioning from a 31mm bar and stem, 31.8 sorry, bar and stem combination to a 35. Now this is a 35mm bar and stem combination. These are at 820mm. I know a lot of people keep on telling me that is excessive, but I am not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the first bike I'm running 820mm bars. That luxury goes to my first Kenevo, but essentially this works for me. I really do like this setup. And essentially, again, the DCP18 or DPC18, I can't remember what it's called anyway, but that display, that center mounted display, is only compatible with a 31.8, come on dude, get your terms right, a 31.8 bar. So this is ideal for this setup. There are other left mounted Bafang displays which you can put on a 35 or 31.8, but in relation to all the readouts in which this display can give, hopefully my GoPro can obviously show. There you go. So yeah, you can see that obviously I've got enough parameters for me to obviously look at a glance if I need to, and obviously it's not taking my way or my vision off the trails when I'm riding. But other than that though, the bike near enough remains the same as what it was before, so it's still rocking that Fox X2, custom tuned, so it gives me 160mm of travel. Huge shout out to my local suspension tuner. In addition, 170mm dropper seat post. Today I'm actually running the 48 volt 17.5 amp hour battery. Now I can run a 52 volt in here. I do have a 52 volt re-engine Dorado battery, but one thing in which is worth mentioning is that when you do put the 52 volt battery in, you are adding to the weight, and with a 48 volt 17.5, yeah, it's handleable. Obviously I can put a lighter battery in and of course reprogram the motor so I'm not running as much power through the motor, but at the same time this is more than enough actually. It is also worth mentioning I have reduced the motor power, so this is running at 20 amps, so for today it's legal, but at the same time you can reduce it a little bit more and then obviously get a little bit more power and range out of say a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery. I know a lot of people have frowned on me and say why would you do that, but you know, to adhere to legal matters and so on and so forth, these are things in which I am prepared to do. Besides, anyway, I like the bike, so yeah, if it allows me to use it in more places, I will do that. But like I said anyway, I mean, my camera gear is technically died and I'm obviously just using the GoPro in order to do this last bit of shooting. So essentially, like, I'll obviously go through a full breakdown as to the bike in a separate video. In addition, one thing I was going to do was talk about the characteristics of how I've programmed the motor, but I feel that because so many people have contacted me in relation to what the M620 can do, and further questions such as, you know, what is the official designation of this motor and how many variations there are, I feel that that kind of warrants its own separate video. So I'll be making an independent video concentrating specifically on the M620 in due course. So I'm not going to say hit the subscribe button, but keep a watchful eye out on future content regarding that. But for now, let's obviously get into a couple of riding bits and pieces for what you guys want to see. And then, of course, I'll give you my conclusion of this video.
Jeez, man, the M620. Flipping heck. Even legal, this thing still feels so pokey. Oh my days, Bosch, eat your heart out. Oh, mind the tree, mind the tree, mind the tree. We're good.
Alright, so we're going to do a bit of a climbing test. Now, I can imagine a lot of you are probably thinking to yourselves, dude, you're on an M620. What's the point? You've got 160 newton-meters of torque on tap. Well, let me remind you, I've made this street legal and I've reduced the power so that the maximum current is 20 amps, so therefore this motor will only kick out 120 newton-meters of torque. So we've got it in level 3. Let's dance. Oh my days! I'm sorry, Bosch, but even legal, this thing has more pull than your Gen 4. Flipping heck! Gee whiz! Even legal? Screw that! I'm sorry, people, 2022. I think we're going to start hearing a lot from Bafang. Tell ya, I'm pleased that I've actually programmed this so that the overrun feature feels pretty decent. All right, dropping. Yes! That's why you've got the X2. And it is worth mentioning, ladies and gentlemen, the suspension has been fully open. And this is a single get my words right, single pivot suspension platform. So that rear end is going to be moving because it's quite regressive by design. Programming this thing is viable for anyone out there who wants to tinker around with the M620. Nice dogs. Ah, screw it, you want to see the throttle, don't you? Alright, here you go. Wheel spin! Alright, that's all throttle you're getting. Especially once I've got these DHR2s on. Really should put a big belly on this. And we're still in level 1, people. Like I said, Bosch, eat your heart out. You! Alright, so I can imagine a lot of you probably took offense in relation to me criticising Bosch saying that this motor has more power. So for anyone out there who is thinking that, I will say this. You have no idea what I have done to this motor. But because I don't have the suitable camera gear in order for me to keep this video going, I'm going to end it here by saying expect a further video in relation to me explaining what I have done to that motor. But anyway, thoughts and opinions as to the Tsunami. It's sick, it's awesome. I freaking love this bike. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I did say in the sneak peek that my intention was to try and make an Enduro emtb, and I will gladly say I failed because the geometry doesn't favour that, but I have no problems classifying this as a trail / AllMountain. More so AllMountain because this is now rolling on 29-inch wheels, and again 160mm of travel out back, 170 up front. So yeah, it can technically classify as an AllMountain, so you'll see it in environments more befitting for bikes like that. And as I said before, perfectly street legal, 250 watt nominal, 750 watt peak, 120 newton meters of torque at 20 maximum current of amps. So yeah, you'll see the Tsunami again. But until then, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here because I can imagine that the camera, the GoPro, doesn't really show good light anyway. But if you've enjoyed this video, smash that like button, comment down below, and of course, until the next time, take it easy, stay safe, peace with the journey, #FABT, and I'm going to catch you then. Peace. Round you. Whoa! What happened? No, don't tell me that snapped my chain.
Oh my days, I've snapped the freaking chain. No! 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 Oh, and I snapped it just at the quick link as well. No! Shoot! It is a 10-speed chain as well. Crap. Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my days. Sorry, I'm trying to find the other quick link. Alright, here it is, guys. Found it. As you can see, clean snapped. Quick link has clean snapped. Unbelievable. To be fair, this isn't even straight anymore. Look, it's warped. Unbelievable. Like, I am honestly surprised I was able to find it in all of that. Like, that is a testament. Like, usually if I lost something within like so much mud and such, I'd be like, screw it, it's gone now. But now my days, I found it, and then I found I found it near enough over there, and the next thing you know is like, yeah, I ain't using this, I can't use this. So yeah, Tsunami, you're chainless.